Thank you for tuning in with Enchantress. That is me, the Babbler. That is me on this evolutionary high of an uprise at this time. It is raining outside and it is thundering too, and there is lightning in the sky, and it's some kind of black moon, double black moon energy of in Western astrology it is full moon in Leo, but in Vedic, what would it be if is this still in Cancerian energies? Either way, full moon in, or no, maybe it's full moon in Leo still. Either way, who knows? So there's been some kind of reset, and it's either going to repeat or create new. And so there was like this shattering of an Ouroboros style of something coming into full circle, meeting you head on, and it's just like, I see, I'm listening, I am detaching from this vessel. I am able to hear this self speak in that alignment. I'm like, whoa, the mouths speak, but who is it that she thinks that speaks? And it's just like, I've been here before. I've been here before. The same spot where I am outside of myself, inside of myself, outside of myself, but this time composed within my inner self. And it's just like, I've been here before. Okay. Stable in these emotional currents of this Ouroboros style of epiphanies that just epiphanize into our lives, and we just die. This shattering of shadowy effects that heal our scars, bring to the surface something that needs to be acknowledged from within, that is coming into our lives in a whirlwind of a kind of spin of an Ouroboros style of the snake eating its own tail. Hear that bite? Oh yes. How does it taste? Those words you hear leave your vessel's lips. Like, wait a minute, am I alchemized to this? Oh, I hear the same pattern coming up, this behavioral conditioning that I'm just getting into my groove so that I can align and find a tune that goes and contributes to this collective groovy sensation meant for not just my elevation, others too. It is a time to give more of yourself to yourself. 444, building on foundations forevermore. 12 and a 3, overseeing these communications that have been swept all over the nation distracted by these external sensations that have me hemmed up, you see, hysterically crying this purge so deep. I've been here before, she speaks. Okay. Lots is happening. You know? You gotta get out these theatricals or dramaticals and be conscious in all that we are experiencing at this time. Because elevating for shizzles is that. No matter the stabs or the cries or the dives, it's a part of life. This cycle that we unwind to find this liberation that creeps into our own cosmic universal stations that just awakens us to a sense of departure. Oh, so emotions are definitely on high. So let's be mindful of that, guys. Okay? Especially at this most sensitive time. Have absolute compassion for you. You know? Never mind the jabs or the stabs or the crabs. How do you feel inside? And are you in your full align? Because this is Ouroboros style, this time where the serpent is now grasping its own tail and tasting its own flavoring. Clean energy food. Being mindful of the things that we take into our bodies, our systems. It's not just in food, it's with the people that we surround ourselves to. It's with the thoughts that we allow to penetrate within our vessels. It's within the feelings that we either suppress, oppress, or suffocate, or just dwell in and allow this swelling that, needs to be acknowledged so that it can be infused in your deep. We say release, but yes, release the deep wound. Anything inflicted upon you carries. Feel so that you can deal, so that you may heal. What are we consuming? What are we wasting or spending our time on? The things that we allow ourselves to watch and partake in, whether we partake in it in our own personal lives or not, the things that we give our attention to are the energy vortexes that we allow to come in and influence the energy sphere within our own universal playground. So whether or not you engage personally with the energy vortex you're coming in contact with or allowing yourself to surround yourself in, it's still influencing your energetic auric spin, and it puts in your field anomaly. Anomaly. Oh no. That's what I heard. So certain things gotta go. Certain things need to just be seen. Face your financial fears. What does abundance mean to you as we speak right now? and what behavioral conditionings of patterns of ways of speaking, thinking, fretting, worrying, talking, engaging with, just sulking in, or thinking something as if you can't change something, then change how you feel about that something. Oh, that death was freaking spectacular last night. As excruciatingly painful as these supercharged black moons and all this kind of influencing tunes that affect our freaking sensitivity radars and have our own shit bockles that, you know, to tend to, by all means. Let it thunder, let it rain. To get into my own align today, I liberate and free reign my own obtaining and attunements. When you are honest with yourself about fears of success or failure, they can no longer control you. Be free of hidden fears by exposing them to the light of awareness, and you'll realize that you in fact have nothing to fear, and that every successful person has struggled with and released these self-doubts. This applies in every aspect, corner, attic, basement in your life. All the relationships you have, first beginning within yourself. Understand so that you may overstand. Visualize abundance in all forms. God gave you great spiritual power. That everything you visualize eventually becomes reality. If you can imagine it in your mind's eye, it can happen. If you can visualize it for longer than 13 seconds, you got willpower. It's all a matter of how you choose to view something. Oh, the death that occurred last night, the murder. It was a slaughterhouse, let me tell you. A slaughterhouse of daggers. Just imagine the Ten of Swords card in the tarot. Slain, butchered, slaughtered. But hey, been here before. Stability. We must speak these words of abundance into absolute existence. Tapping into the inner you, the inner child, the child that, instead of being judged or pushed to the side or made to feel any less important than any of the adults in their lives, or felt neglected or not paid enough attention to, or paid too much attention to and yet still felt freaking invisible, ignored, lost, forsaken, abused. Go back to that inner child that all they wanted was acceptance and love, because love is always a good answer. To do anything in love is absolutely, quantumly, phenomenally amazing. make sure that anything you do, even when it's justified, and maybe you need to take your Queen of Swords action, King of Swords action, and slice through every kind of truth that might feel like a stab to someone else too. Again, individual, we each have our own path of resurrection, burning, dying. All been there, done that. But that inner child, that younger self, that all they needed was a freaking hug. The other day, I said that to a child who I felt all he wanted and needed was a hug. And I'm like, while they're upset and whining to their mother, I'm like, hey, all you want is a hug? Child was like 3 or 4, and she looked at me, and she's like, because that's not something that she was expecting to hear. I mean, do you just need a hug? And she's like, yeah, I need a hug. And I was like, well, then you're gonna get a hug. And she looked at her mama, and she said, I want you to hug me. So what we're learning, guys, is to do that for ourselves. Feeling alone, without having any kind of bitter tone, or upset, or disappointment. To do it because it's the righteous thing to do. To do it because you